Hey everyone, welcome to another video by the community. My name is Sunil Joshi, and from this video onwards, we'll be learning how to code using C++ as our programming language. So in this video, we'll be learning about what C++ programming language actually is. After that, we'll discuss about the need for the C++ as the programming language, and finally, we'll be discussing about what you can achieve once you are done with the C++ programming language. So what is this C++ language? Now if you look at the first point, it says that our C++ language is a cross-platform high-level programming language. Now whenever we say it is cross-platform, we mean that it is independent of hardware and it is also independent of the software. Whenever we say it is independent of hardware, we generally talk from the processor perspective, and we have different kinds of processor like the Intel, the Qualcomm and the ARM processor, and so on and so forth. And whenever we say software independent, we generally talk from the operating system perspective, and we can have different operating systems like Mac, Windows and Linux, and we have some other operating system as well. By cross-platform, we mean that suppose we have a computer system which has an Intel processor and Linux as an operating system, and we write some codes and execute on this particular system, and then what we do is we take the same code which we wrote in this particular system and we try to execute it in a different system which has a Windows operating system and a Qualcomm as its processor. And what we see is that the code which we wrote in this particular system works perfectly fine in the other computer system with a different hardware and a software configuration. And this is what we mean whenever we say cross-platform language. Apart from being cross-platform, our C++ language is also a high-level programming language. Now whenever we say that C++ is a high-level programming language, we mean that using this language we can write instruction which is very similar to English-like language, and that we can understand it very easily. Because if you remember, in the video of hardware and software, we got to know that computer only understands zeros and ones. So if we make use of this particular programming language, we don't have to write instruction in terms of zeros and ones, as it can be very tedious and very difficult. And this conversion of instruction from the language which we understand, that is the high level language, to something that computer understand, that is our low level language, is performed by something known as a compiler. And this C++ language is used to create high performance applications. Now when we say applications, we don't limit ourselves to only mobile applications, but it also includes desktop or laptop applications, server applications, and so on and so forth. This particular language was developed by Brajan Starstrup, and it was basically an extension to our C programming language. The C++ programming language gives programmer or someone who writes code a very good control over the system resources. Now when we say system resources, we generally mean processors, sockets and things like that, and it also provides a very good control over memory or RAM. Now since its release, it has received 3 major updates in the year 2011, 2014 and 2017. Now that we know what C++ programming language actually is, let us now look as to why the need for C++ programming language was actually felt. Now this C++ programming language is a very popular, widely used programming language which is used in the development of our operating systems, the graphical user interfaces and embedded systems. And the reason for this popularity is because our C++ programming language makes use of object-oriented programming concepts, which allows to give clear structure to programs and allows code to be reused, which in turn lowers the development cost of the software. Another reason for the popularity of C++ is because it's portable, or we can say it's cross-platform, because of which we can develop applications that can be adapted to multiple platforms, as we have already discussed. Now, since our C++ programming language makes use of our object-oriented programming concepts, it closely resembles the C# and the Java programming language as well, because these two programming language also makes use of the OOPS concept, and that makes it very easy for programmers who knows C++ language to easily switch to the C# or the Java programming language. Having said that, let us now look at the real-life implementation of C++ programming language. Let us now look at some of the real-world applications which is developed by making use of the C++ programming language. Our C++ programming language is used to make games, and the example for it is a game by the name of Doom 3. And then we have GUI based applications like our Adobe Primer, Photoshops, which are all scripted by making use of the C++ programming language. Even web browsers are made by making use of the C++ programming language. Like as you can see over here, the backend of Google is written by making use of our C++ programming language. And then we have many open source projects such as web browsers by the name Mozilla Firefox, which is scripted by making use of this programming language. We also have tons of other softwares like the database software, the operating systems, medical engineering applications such as our MRI machines and things like that, which all have been scripted by making use of the C++ language. That's all for this video, people, and from next video onwards we'll learn how to write codes by making use of C++ programming language. Thank you.